are you?
Dr. Michelle, so wonderful to see you. I was starting to dance to your rhythm of your music. I like it.
I see that. I see that. Well, let's welcome all of our viewers today. Welcome to another edition of Elevate Your Life with Dr. Michelle Odette Green, and welcome to the Spanglish World Networks on channels Zingo TV, I should say, on channels 250 and 251. And you can download the Zingo TV app at your respective app stores, iOS and Android devices. And while you download that app, please make sure that you rate and leave us a stellar comment. The app is actually free. And Zingo TV is also available on Google Chromecast, on Amazon Fire TV sticks, on Roku sticks, and on all smart TVs 2016 and forward. And we have a wonderful show for you today. I'm so happy to have David here with us. We're going to be talking about being open to support. And David, you have been with me before, and I'm glad to have you back. And so
Thank
I
you.
want to tell the audience a little bit about you, and I'll turn it over to you to add anything that I miss. But I want to remind our viewers before I tell them about you, get your journal. Make sure that you have your journal and something to write with because we have some wonderful gems to share with you today. And David, listen, you are so wonderful. David and I, we met a couple of years ago through a mutual group that we were going through, and we became accountability partners. And we just connected, and we have
Mhm.
stayed in contact with one another over the last couple of years, supporting each other in our growth journey. And I'm just so pleased with the progress that you have made, David. Look, I'm pointing at me because I'm pleased with the progress that I've made too with your encouragement and support. And I am so pleased to show our audience this wonderful book that you put together. Yes, it is Live Longer, Lead Stronger. And we do have a show regarding the book, and we're going to get into it today as well. So I'll put that link in the show notes at the end. But David, let me go ahead and just let the folks know who you are. You are the creator of the power shaking method and an expert, yes, in kinesiology. David, with my goodness, I can't believe this. Over 40 years, over 40 years of experience. He is dedicated to helping business owners integrate wellness into their professional lives to build lasting legacies. And I love that word legacy. His work empowers individuals to thrive both personally and professionally and ensuring that they have sustainable success. And that's what I love about you. So, David, I want to take this liberty because I have a lot of questions that I want to ask you, but I want to take the liberty and turn the floor over to you to add to that introduction.
Well, I want to meet that person you just described. I like that already. It's been a journey. I think we're all on a journey. And I think the biggest thing is, can we let support in and be supportive of our own selves instead of criticizing ourselves? And that is really the way we can move forward. Uh, Carrot or the stick kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I want our guests to know something about you. I am going a little bit off script here because I do have my set of questions that I want to ask you to really talk about the topic at hand. I want our audience just to take a moment to take a good look at you. Audience, take a moment, take a good look at David. I want you to know on Tuesday, he had a medical emergency and he navigated that medical emergency and was in the hospital for 24 hours as a result of it. And today he is with us, standing tall, standing strong, ready to enlighten us. And David, I didn't want to disclose that medical emergency. So if you would like to, you can. I just want the audience to know what being healthy looks like in the midst of life happening because life on us. And so I want to turn it back over to you to add anything to that.
Having a foundation of health, foundational habits that support your health and that help you to thrive will allow you to get back up when you get knocked out. And I had a stroke on Tuesday. I took immediate action. I was able to get help right away. I was able to get the stroke busting drug that they take, TPA, I believe, something like that. Right now, I'm still learning the terms. And then I was able to go to the hospital and continue the care. They didn't think they could release me. They didn't know what was going to happen, but I didn't have many residual effects, and I was able to be released almost 24 hours later. And I've been recovering since, and I'm so thankful because the ability to recover is inherent in our nature. It's not an anomaly. You get a cold, you get better. You break your leg, you heal up, get better. I think the key is, can we establish a system of care and support so that we can now establish and have a long life, a thriving life, no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's going on in our heads.
Yes, yes, yes. So grateful. I am so grateful that you are here. And I'm so grateful that you are knowledgeable. You are taking care of yourself. And I do want to bring out the fact that you knew what to do because you educated yourself.
Yeah.
And you educated yourself, and never, probably in a million years, you thought that you would find yourself in the situation that you found yourself in.
Mhm.
But because of wanting to grow, wanting to learn, wanting to help other people, you are well rounded and you
Exactly.
educated yourself on things to do
Right.
when you have situations that come upon you. That's the best way I know how to say that. And I want to turn it back over to you because I want you to explain to the audience how taking proactive measures really makes a difference in your life.
Just a simple thing as brushing your teeth helps you to have healthier teeth. Personal hygiene, first aid, right? And now I think we also need something for first aid for the stresses we're under.
Yes.
Yeah. And then that the quick care really you have to have faith.
Mhm.
That's got to be the foundation. That's what's really going to be supporting you throughout everything is your faith.
Mhm.
And we have so many different beliefs, but yet there's still one thing under that belief is something is created us and it's helping us to thrive.
Yes. Absolutely, absolutely. And so I want to add to that as well. There is a such thing, of I want to say you go to school to learn, right? You go to school to learn. So you want to learn about the first aid methods as well. And I'm going to talk about this really quick. And then, David, I want to get into your book. I want to get into the
Mhm.
questions that I have for you. There was a moment where I was actually choking. I had a cold and I took a pill. It was like a NyQuil pill, but it was a gel pill. It was really big, and I took that pill, and it got lodged in my throat, and I
Mhm.
started choking. And there were people around me, and they were looking at me, and literally they're laughing at me, and I'm having a medical emergency situation. Now I can't talk, I can't swallow, nothing I could do to get the pill down or get the pill up. Well, there's the Heimlich maneuver that
Mhm.
we're taught in CPR to help dislodge whatever is stuck. And so finally, my husband, he came to my aid and he realized that I was serious. I was about to go under. So he dislodged it. It came out and a whole bunch of other stuff came out. And it was unbelievable. And what I have learned is that if you are by yourself, you can get a chair and you can
Oh,
pound, like pounce on that chair, get your rib cage up under there so that you can dislodge whatever is stuck there. So at any rate, I just wanted to share that because that was a situation where the people around me initially didn't know what to do. And had I been savvy enough at that moment to have been trained to go on that chair, then I could have helped my own self at the time. And so this show is about bringing you information so that you can be open to support and what to do and how to keep yourself healthy. And so, with that being said, David, I want to get into this wonderful book. This book has so many gems, and I want to know. Tell us about the book and what made you write the book.
well, as you were telling your story, I'm going to go to my book in just a second. Remind me of the movie Groundhog Day and how he's coming in and he's all about himself. He's not aware of things. He knows how to complain and how to misbehave. But then when the day keeps repeating, he starts to figure out maybe I need to learn something. And he starts learning a skill of helping people change their tire, helping the people to pick something up. Or in a restaurant and someone's having an episode that they need the Heimlich maneuver. And over time, he's learned that and he's able to help that person, right? So I think that's also for us is true. Instead of being critical and negative, being positive and open to learning things. So the beginning of my book is really a story about my dad when he passed away at 54. I'll be
Mm.
74 in a couple of weeks. So I've had 20 extra years that he didn't have. But one of the things that we're telling him, you're as good as new. He had one heart attack, and then he had a second heart attack, and then he had a double bypass surgery. You're as good as new now. Don't take any responsibility. Don't change any habits. Don't change anything that led you to have those heart conditions, right? So I want to inspire you. Start looking at you are incredible, you are magic, you are miraculous. Explore everything that happens in your life. Learn, 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 keep learning. And my book is about leading and leadership. Yeah. And we have to lead ourselves and we have to be example for others. And that's how we support each other to our highest capacity.
Yes, I love that. Leading and leadership, and it starts with self, knowing how to lead ourselves. And when we know how to lead ourselves, then we can lead others. And so that is so good, so good. So, what does the book suggest about the importance of support systems?
Well, we have support systems already inherent in our physical, our mental, emotional well-being. So you get infected with something. We have systems that come in and fight that infection, right? So movement to me is a key thing that we have to. We don't think about it as something important, but if our supply lines are not moving. And imagine World War II and you're attacking an enemy, right? And your supply lines are waylaid, they can't move, then you're going to run out of things, of ammunition and things like that. So supply lines and speed of bringing supplies is very important. So one of the biggest things in our supply system is our power to shake. And the power shaking method is just simply, let's take a second for a second, just lift out and just really let go. Let go. Stop thinking, release,
Come
release,
on,
breathe.
audience, do this with us. Do this with us. Woo, the
Do it
yawning.
with us. Let's join together. Power up.
Yes.
And I'm standing, so I'm in a stand up desk, so I'm able to move my hips and my legs. and I'm moving around.
Yes.
And what's happening? I'm sending a signal. I'm sending a signal. I'm powering up that signal. I'm sending more signals. I'm sending more mediums. I'm sending more tributaries. I don't have one tributary of support. I have multiple tributaries of support. You have multiple resources coming in instead of just one resource, dependent on one person rather than pro enhancing and encouraging others to come together, working as a team. Football, as a great example. You have to work as a team. You can't just do what you want to do. Everybody has to coordinate. You got to block, you got to pass, you got to shift, you got to quickly respond to the circumstances. So that's one of the things. Movement is key.
So good. And I'm glad that you said that. And I want people to know that movement is enough to get your lip system going, to get your metabolism revved up. Movement can do a lot. People associate with those things with exercise. Well, I got to go to the gym to exercise, or I got to exercise, have this equipment to exercise. But you can use your own body and you can use movement, and the shaking actually helps you in tremendous ways, and we'll get into the benefits of that in a few moments. But the movement is key. When you're in a state where you can't go to the exercise to the gym or what have you, just get up and move, get up and shake. It makes a difference. And I've been doing it for a while now, thanks to you, David. I've been getting more movement in, more shaking in, and I feel good. It makes me feel happy. And I feel, ooh, when I'm shaking, I'm smiling and I'm releasing those feel good chemicals, those endorphins and the dopamine, and making myself feel good. And it makes me want to do it every day and throughout the day as well. And so, going back to your book, how does your book offer support anytime, anywhere?
Well, that's the thing. We breathe everywhere we're at. If we hold our breath, you start feeling anxiety because the body's saying, hey, we need to breathe. We need to breathe, right? I need to drink water. In fact, I encourage everybody, take a sip. We need to drink water, right? But I remember working in an office. Oh no, I can't get. I got to get my work done. Can't go get a drink of water. Got to get my work done. I can't move. Got to get my work done. Right? Can I? May I being in classroom? May I go out? No, we have to finish this, and you can go later. So we know we've learned how to set things aside, but at the same time, we can develop so much ability and uh, foundation and resources that we can be able to set time aside, but at the same time, de-stress. That's kind of like kids are in school, give them some time for kindergarten, right? To get out there and just get out there and play, get out to the
Yeah.
playground, right? We don't do that. Oh, that's beneath me. I have to be very proper here. But so the power shaking can be done anywhere. I can just be sitting at my chair and just move my legs back and forth, vibrating them, and that's pumping up the blood. But more importantly, we also have a system called the lymphatic system, which has
Yes.
it's a circulatory system. It's got nodes where things can accumulate, a storage, right? But it doesn't have a pump, guys.
Mhm.
Lymphatic system relies on your muscles. Now, when we were actively back in the 50, 60,000 years ago, where we have no chairs, we're moving around all the time, the lymphatic system is working perfectly. But now that we're industrialized and we're sitting in chairs, we have to moderate and realize that we have to be moving all the time.
Yes. Yes. And I encourage people to take breaks, take a couple of minutes to get up, shake yourself out when you're sitting at your desk, shake your hands, do what David just demonstrated to us. Shake it out, move, get that blood flowing, because when you have that blood flowing, it's going to help you to think better. You mentioned the air, and I'm going to get into each step of this as we go through the show here, but the air we breathe is so important. The water we drink is so important. We know if we don't breathe, we don't live. We know that with water, if we don't have it for a few days, we don't live. So it's so important, the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the moves that we make, as you are just explaining to us. And so I want to move on to, why is it important to being open for for support as far as aging gracefully?
Okay. What is aging to begin with? It's a slowing down of your metabolism, right? So if we're starting to slow down, there is something in us which is our spirit. And that's a spirit that allows one swimmer like Michael Phelps to push a little bit harder somehow, to dig in and get that extra 1/100th of a second to win that gold medal, right? It's that extra. So what is that extra? We can do that for ourselves so we win our own gold medal. And
Yes.
that's to really honor what the physical body's needs are, what our emotional needs are, what our mental needs are, and what our spiritual needs are. But it's not like it's like putting blocks on. It's a constant flow and intertwining, intermingling of things. But yet there is our intelligence that oversees all this, and there's also an intelligence that is beyond our comprehension. That's what's bringing up all these ideas. And all of a sudden, we don't have an idea, and now we have an idea. Where did that come from? But there's some sort of cohesiveness. So essentially, aging gracefully. And gracefully means with kindness,
Yes.
right? Without responding with anger, with frustration. And taking frustration, I am frustrated about this, to I'm fascinated by this. Yes, I'm still having a challenge, but I'm fascinated. That means I'm open. I'm open to support, to help, for ideas and cooperation.
Yes, so good, so good. And I like to say curious. I'm just
Yes.
curious about this. Yes. So now you said some other things. So it's the words that we speak as well. So now we're down to the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, the moves that we make, and the words that we speak. They all have an impact on how we age gracefully. Bringing in that kindness, that is so important, because we are all going through something in life. So, my mother likes to say, be kind to people because you never know what they are going through. We are all, like I said, going through something in life. And so, I love that so much. And I just want to bring up this dance contest that you won last month. I want you to tell the audience how that unfolded. I saw the video, and you were on stage with several other contestants, and you were moving the moves, you were making the smiles that you were making. And it looks so much fun. So, can you tell the audience about this dance contest, and how did you even make it to the stage?
Well, they saw me moving up in the bleachers and they came to find me and asked me if I wanted to be in the contest. So an opportunity came up for me, right? Because I'm just being me. I'm being myself. I'm developing my habits and I'm moving. And they said, do you want to be up on stage? I said, sure. No hesitation. So that means I have courage, right? And then when we went up to on stage, the person says, "Listen, I picked you first. I want you to win." So that planted a seed of, "Hey, I want to win." So it's that willingness to win, acceptance to winning, acceptance to being the best you can, and the acceptance of honoring everybody that's there. So I'm competing, but at the same time, I'm honoring every person that's there. I'm having fun seeing them explore. So I just went all out, and everybody voted, and it was so great. I got voted number one. There was 2,000 people there, and at 73, to be able to move freely is amazing. It's a gift.
It is a gift. It is a gift. And you getting up there demonstrating that at your tender age, you are able to move. Now, I saw the moves that you were making, and they were dynamic. I'm like, go, David, go, David. And the other thing is the fun. Having fun. You mentioned kids going out to the playground and
Right.
playing and having fun. We got to make life fun. And when we make life fun, we again, I'm all about the neurochemicals that we activate in our bodies. I
Yeah.
know that we have the ups and the downs, and that's just how we are wired. And that's okay because we do need some of those other neurochemicals that are not as good for our body, but we need those in spurts when we need to run and get away from something, when we need to be more alert, but we don't need that to be on all the time, meaning cortisol, adrenaline. So I love talking about the neurochemicals because I think it's important through all of this is that people understand that you have the ability to activate them at will to manage your moods and to regulate your emotions. And I just think that having tools in your tool belt, so when you find yourselves in unresourceful situations, you can actually pull out the tool that will help you in that circumstance, if you will. And the power shaking method is also dealing with your physiology. And with the physical movement, if you will. But if you find yourself in an unresourceful situation, shaking can help you break that pattern. And so, David, I'm just having so much fun with you, and just picturing you on that stage out there in front of those 2,000 people. Yes, twirling, bouncing, jumping. Yes. I love it, love it, love it. So, in what ways can accepting help improve proactive health management for longevity?
Well, in accepting help, there's also the counter aspect of willingness to be helpful.
Yes.
So there's a flow. I'm willing to be helpful, and I'm willing to accept being helped. It's not
Mhm.
one way or the other, it's a flow of things. Hey, let's pull this way. Okay, let's pull that way now. Pull back and forth, right? And now we can start a saw. Before we had power saws, right? We're cutting a tree and we're working together. I'm being resourceful. I'm being cooperative. I'm
Yes.
being as a team. And I love
Yes.
what you said, so many things. But when you feel like movement, movement is life. Because when you look at something that's dead, it's not moving. So
Right.
we can choose to move. But
Yeah.
here, give me 1 second. I'm going to disappear for a second, and I'm going to bring in if I would have let myself get old. Okay.
Yes. Mm.
Hey, Michelle. How are you? How are you? Come on,
Oh,
wake up, guys.
I see the posture. The posture.
Posture. It's like energy wants to flow like a gusher through the top of your head.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
more you open that gusher, the more you open up all the avenues from your feet. So you don't say, "Hey, those are my feet down there." I mean, they go in mud and doo doo and all that stuff. They're just nah. And this is the top of my head. Oh, the top of my head. It's got the crown on top, and it's so fine. We have to
Yeah.
relax a bit. Yeah. So this breaking things into this is me, this is not me, rather than
Mhm.
it's all this divine mean you us together. There's no
Mm.
separation.
So
And
good.
and this here needs this, and you need this, and we acknowledge and we treat each other with respect. So good.
Yeah. Yes, so, so good. You said a lot there. I want to go back to just the posture. The posture makes a difference. You know, there is, yes. All right, yes. You know, and with that posture of upward alertness, chest out, that is your superhero posture, if you will. And there has been a study that if you just stand erect and you have that posture, it actually boosts your confidence. So if you are feeling like you have a low confidence, stand up straight, pull your shoulders back, hold your head up high, smile, and within a couple of minutes, you will find that your confidence is actually boosted. And again, you're raising those happy neurochemicals. And so that's one little technique to activate those happy chemicals within you. So thank you for demonstrating that for us, because you could see the difference. You can totally see the difference. And so you've already demonstrated to us a little bit of what power shaking is. But I really want you to explain to our beautiful audience what truly is the power shaking method.
It's the willingness to let energy flow through you, infinite energy flow through you, and tap into that energy. And that as you tap into that energy, it changes your state. It changes your identity. It allows you to grow beyond boundaries. And the best example I could give of with the power shaking, it was the movie where the whales got caught up in Alaska,
Mm,
and they were trying to save the whales by cutting holes in the ice.
okay.
Well, when it wasn't that cold enough, they cut the hole, and the whales were able to come in and breathe. And then they would go to the next section, cut another hole, and the whales would come in and breathe. Right. But then when it was getting too cold, they would cut the hole open and it would start to freeze.
Mm,
And then there was a group in Minnesota or Michigan that they saw how it was freezing, and they have that freezing problem where they're at, and they develop a system of a floating propeller that creates waves. So by
mm.
carrying that, transporting that to that Alaska area, they would put the propeller in, and after they cut it, the propeller would keep the water from freezing up. The waves don't allow molecules to come together. They're vibrating and moving, so they can't come together to bind together. So by not moving our molecules inside, which we call arthritis, it's like comes in and locks us into positions. My mother was locked into this position
Ooh.
from her arthritis. And then you have another effect. So now you're taking and pushing. Now you're leaning forward. So your capacity as you're walking, your propensity is to fall forward. But if
Mm.
I'm lifting myself up, my energy's going up, I'm carrying myself, so I'm not going to fall. And
Yes.
Then if you've slowed down and frozen, that means more calcifications taking place. If you fall, you break. But
Mm,
little kids who are moving all the time, they go fall, splat, get back up, run like nothing happened.
exactly. Oh, so good, so good. I love this. And so you just gave us some benefits of the power shaking method. Give us more benefits of the power shaking method.
Well, it helps you to think better. It
Mhm.
frees you from rigid thinking, from opinionated thinking. And it allows you to have a better digestion, because now you're picking yourself up. Your lungs are not fighting your ribs in order to breathe, so you have spaciousness as you breathe. Your digestive system has openness and mobility. You're stimulating your mobility. Food that's coming in now is able to move more effectively through. So all
Yeah.
these fickle things, your ligaments and tendons become supple,
Hmm.
and it can be counteracted. So if you haven't been moving, if you start moving, you're going to start regenerating. We have a new body every 7 years.
Yes.
Stomach
Yes.
lining is replaced every 2 to 3 weeks. Our blood
Mm,
cells, new blood cells are coming in every 2 weeks. So let's keep that rebuilding process activated, and the power system will also increase your circulatory system. I'm building more capillaries deeper into my tissues. So more oxygen. My skin is alive. Okay, I'm going to put stuff on my skin, but what if you get it alive from the inside out?
yes.
That's what
Yes.
power taking does. Gives you more. I have no makeup on, guys. I'm nothing. This is my skin.
What? I love it. I love it. I encourage you all to go to Amazon and get this book. It is really less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Starbucks coffee will give you a temporary high, but this book will give you, if you apply the information, a lifelong high. So
Oh, I
I
like
encourage
that.
you to
Get the
go and
book. Get a
purchase the book.
lifelong high.
I encourage
eight
you to get
dollars
the
and
book.
88 cents. High for life.
Yes, yes, exactly. So now I
Ridiculous.
want to talk about, you mentioned if you haven't been moving. And we know that if you're getting up every day, you're getting out of the bed, you're
Right.
moving. But let's just talk about some basic steps that a person can take. Let's go from the basics and then give us an exercise that we can do when we're on our feet. So we're in bed in the morning. So what is something basic that we can do to start moving?
Well, in bed, we're going to start breathing a little bit more, and you're going to lie down, and you're going to move your arms like this. And as you do that, you'll start seeing your waist will start moving, your knees will
Oh,
start
yes. Come
moving.
on, audience. Do it with us. If you're sitting down watching this show, come on, do it with us. Woo, it
Push
feels
it out.
good.
Push it out.
Yes. Yes.
And don't forget, I just had a stroke. So it allowed me to come back faster.
Yes, it did.
Right. So you
Yes.
want to build up the foundation, so in case something does happen, you can recover faster.
Yes.
So now you're lying out and you're moving, and now you're standing up. And now I'm going to get my
And
activation
I'm
movement.
gonna stand up. Let me get out of my chair here.
Let me get
All
a
right.
little farther
I'm
back.
standing up now.
And
All right, audience, stand up if you can. Shake with us. Shake with us. Shake with your mama made. Shake with us.
get the hips
Woo! Yes.
going.
Woo, it feels so good.
And it wakes us up. I feel more awake. Right.
Yes.
So that's,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And then throughout the day, you're going to start moving a little bit. If you Can't shake in the office. Well, shake in the restroom.
Yes,
Right? Find ways. Go outside. Right? And
yes,
incorporating a little bit throughout the day this intentionality. I'm
yes.
going to move. I'm going to move. Rather than I'm going to be passive. I'm going to be passive. I'm going to be passive. Because even when we're passive, our mind is active. But
True.
it gets a negative connotation to that mind when it's not active.
Yes, so true. So here's another thing that I tell our audience, and I'm going to bring this here. I got my cell phone. You can actually remind yourself, put a reminder on your cell phone. I have a reminder every hour to do specific things. And so you can add that power shaking as a reminder so you know when it goes off, you get up, you move. You can do it, like I said, for 2 to 3 minutes. That will make a
Perfect.
difference. Just do it
2
throughout
to
the day.
3
You're getting
minutes.
that movement in.
Yeah.
Yes. If you can't get up from your desk, and you say if you're working with a customer and your alarm goes off, most of us have our little Fitbits or our Apple Watches where it gives us the alert on our watch. So we can get that alert quickly, turn it off, just shake out your hands. The customer, if you tell the customer, "Oh, I just need to shake my hands," they understand that. They'll probably start shaking their hands too. "Oh, thanks for that reminder." you know. So so I say set yourself an alarm so that you can start getting in the habit of moving more throughout your day. And so, David, I want to talk about the foods that we eat. So you talked about, and I piggybacked on the air that we breathe. We need air to live. If we're not breathing, we're not talking. We need water to live. If we're not drinking water, we are not living. You can only go so long without water. Our body is mostly made up of water as well. Right? And then the words that you speak, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. And remember, you can always reframe. If you're feeling frustrated about something, instead of saying, "I'm so frustrated," you want to say, "I'm fascinated," or "I am curious. Let me uncover what is really happening here," and really feel it and work through it and understand it. And David, you're so good with helping with really taking time to acknowledge how you feel, allow the feeling to pass through you so it does not get stuck in you. And I thank you for that gift that you do have. And now I want to talk about the foods that we eat. So tell us about how foods also help in terms of aging gracefully.
Well, foods are the nutrients that we need.
Mhm.
The minerals, the vitamins, the carbohydrates, all those things that are needed. The more you process things, the less effective they are. The more longer shelf life they have might not be so good in your body. Might be good for
Mhm.
the product, for selling the product, but not so good for your body. So fresh food as much as possible. Would
Yes.
would you go and drink water from a stagnant pond that's been sitting there with no movement and bacterial growth and slime? Let's go drink that water. Or a beautiful, fresh running stream, just being just deliciously, from the snow that's being released, right? So think
Yeah.
about we need freshness in our life. So eating the right foods, the right fruits, the right vegetables. And I personally have cut back my meat intake. I used to eat meat 3 times a day because I
Mm,
just eat meat and potatoes because I
mm,
had a condition that I didn't realize I had, and nobody really could identify it. And that was that I was not. I shouldn't have been eating potatoes.
mm.
Potatoes, mashed potatoes, yams, tapioca. That was a test that I did. It was a test developed 100 years ago. It's not even
Mm,
talked about that much anymore. It's called the Carroll Food Intolerance Test. So I
Mm.
said, let me do that test. I tested it. I can't do potatoes. I got rid of potatoes. I love potatoes, French fries, potato chips. I love them, right? I got rid of them and my digestion cleared and I could eat vegetables again.
Oh, so good. So good. So here is something that is also important for our audience to know is that we have certain genetic markers. That's just the reality.
Mhm.
We were born of our parents and we have their DNA. And what we have learned over the years is that there was a study, and it is known as epigenetics, which means above the genes. And so you can activate certain things in your body based on your genetics. And so when you learn what activates what makes you feel good versus what doesn't make you feel good, you have the power to do something about it. And so, David, just explaining that you took that test revealed to you that your genetic makeup
Right.
is not suited for potatoes. And
Right.
so that's where epigenetics come in because now you have the ability to take those potatoes out of your diet and now it doesn't activate your stomach upset or whatever challenges you were
Yeah.
having with your digestive system. And so that's so important and so key for our audience to know. For instance, God rest my dad's soul. And listen, I was a daddy's girl. I love my daddy. My daddy really couldn't do no wrong in my eyes. And bless his soul, he was addicted to alcohol. And thank God that he got the help that he needed. Talking about, being open to support, he got the help that he needed
Right.
so
Right.
that he became clean and sober. And so I knew that I have that predisposition where I believe I do. Check this out. I didn't want to find out. So I decided that alcohol would not be my thing because I didn't want to turn into an alcoholic.
Right.
And I felt like that before I knew anything about epigenetics. I just always believed that I had that gene and I didn't want it to express it through drinking alcohol. And so, again, when you know better, you can do better. When you have the tools, you can make better decisions. And that's what we're here providing you with tools that can help you in your life overall. And then you get to pass it on. You get to help others. You get to learn, you apply it to your life, you teach it to others and it's just a ripple effect. And that's where that legacy part comes in. So I said, I love, love, love legacy. So, David, tell us, how can we cultivate a positive and resilient mindset?
Accept that you want to feel good, that it's an honor to feel good, and let that feeling of feeling good guide us. I remember I would drink alcohol and it didn't make me feel good. Maybe for a little bit, but not prolonged. So if it's not a long, steady feeling good, drop it. Eating
Yes,
sugar, it
yes,
gives me that momentary feeling good, but then I drop. You get a sugar drop, all that stuff, right? So
yes,
find the things that help you move feeling good longer and longer. Honor how you feel
yes.
and honor how others feel. That's a little bit
Mhm.
of challenge. Love is really the most important thing. We love ourselves. We love ourselves and each other. So
Yes.
focus on loving and let love be your guide.
Yes, cultivate a mindset of love and let love be your guide. And so we're up against time. I do want to ask you two more questions really quick.
Got it?
Quick answer. How does conditioning help you default to your better behaviors?
We're learning to condition by what you truly want in life rather than settling for what you don't want. And then be authentic, be yourself. You are so incredibly made. Show the world.
So good, so good, so good. The thoughts that we think. Yes, yes, yes. And so, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
I'm in my Facebook. Reach out to me there. I'm on Instagram, David Weigert. You can look me up. I'm on LinkedIn. Look me up through there. And the power shaking method is get my book. It is phenomenal. And that's just the beginning. I can't put 40 years into one book, but I can start with just the beginning aspect. And I'm going to have other books coming out to help you along the way. Michelle, Dr. Michelle, this has been so wonderful. I love your support. I love your love. I love your willingness to grow. And that's it. Be willing to grow. Life
Yes,
is incredible.
be willing to grow. Yes, I love that. And cultivate a loving mindset. And remember, the air you breathe, the water you drink, and the moves you make, and the words you speak. Yes, 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 yes. The foods you eat, all of that has an effect on how you age gracefully. And be open to support. This show is here to support you. And what we've shared with you today will help you, not only you, as I mentioned, but others as well. Have fun, make life fun, be bold, be brave, be happy, be healthy. We have come to the end of our show. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here with us. Yes, yes, yes. This show can be seen on the Spanglish World Networks, spanglishworld.ca. You can hear it, you can read it, you can download it, you can live it. And until next time, have a blessed day. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
love you.
Yes, much love.